Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsyreplays and welcome back to another episode of Yeah Nah. Now, this one I actually feature. I feature myself. I decided to put myself. It's not very often I get an OP replay or I get a replay like that deserves to be in a Yeah Nah. But those of you that have watched my live stream the other day would have saw this or would have seen this battle. And considering on PC, I absolutely suck. I absolutely suck on PC. So this is probably one of my better games that I have had. So we are on Alpenstadt and I am driving the Foch 155. And straight away I decided to go in this bush and I thought, you know what, I'm going to play it safe until some tanks are spotted to the right, and then I get very impatient and think, you know what, I'm not going to sit there. I'm going to use the Foch as a kind of like a YOLO wagon. The Foch is like the new YOLO wagon, the Object 263. I always play the Foch quite aggressive. Sometimes it pays off, sometimes it don't. So we are heading towards the medium tanks, the light tanks, and we do spot the bat chat. We get my magazine into him, do 1100 damage, and he is gone. So here now we're pushing the standard B, we're pushing the AMX and we're pushing the Sheridan. Now I was actually hoping my Sheridan would push on over the hill, but he decided to stop, and I was just hoping, come on, just go over, let's get him, let's rush them together. The AMX Proto is a one-shot. If he would have pushed, then the Proto would have come down, and you can see I'm actually ignoring the Sheridan. This is the mistake I made because I wanted to go for that Proto. I'm not after the damage, I'm after getting the kills and, you know, taking a gun out of the game. But because of that, I mean, that was a mistake on my behalf in pushing, especially with a tank with no turret. It is very difficult to push with a tank with no turret, and we do get set on fire from the Sheridan. Luckily, he tracks himself, and we are able to get that shot off. Now, here again, I make a nasty mistake. I know I'm spotted, and I know that Waffle is looking at me, which is why I'm trying to go side by side, like sideways, wiggling, to try and get that bounce. Now he does only manage to get a HE shot. Now I'm looking at rushing him, getting a couple of HE rounds, but he does get a nasty HE shot into me there. We do get one nice back into him. Now we got one shell left, and I'm hoping to get that before he can get me. I mean, it's only going to take a HE to clear, but luckily he shoots my gun and he kills himself. So that actually keeps me alive just a little bit longer. It is now a 2 versus 3. We're on 3.5k damage, but there is a platoon of Kranwagens that is going to be difficult to deal with, especially when I am a one shot. Now the Object 268, luckily he doesn't go after me, so I am able to get a nice juicy HE shot into his rear, putting him down to a one shot. So that HE was absolutely vital in putting him down to that one shot, which means I can clear him with my next shell. Now the Kranwagen actually misses me, which allows me to back up behind this hill. We're on 4.7k damage. We're only on 1 kill so far. Now the enemy only have 1 base, so the supremacy points are not too much to worry about at the moment. Now I'm looking at ignoring the Kranwagen with almost full hit points, or at least 3/4, and going for this one shot. Now luckily we do get that snapshot into him before he does shoot us, and all of a sudden we have managed to bring it down to a 1 versus 1. We're on 5.3k damage. Now the only thing on my mind at the moment is getting away from that Kranwagen, resetting my camo, and maybe hopefully spotting him first before he comes to find me. Get that shot off, and then if I can get one shot off and hide, I may be able to reload before he can kill me, which means if I can get him, if I can shoot him one more, he should then be a magazine. I should be able to clear him with the next magazine. So we're just going to try and sit in this position here. We're going to see if we can spot him, but at the minute we're not having any hope at all. So as I've said, we're on 2 kills. We have block 960, and now the worst thing ever is I'm spotted and I have no idea where this Kranwagen is. Is he coming from my left, or is he going to come from my right? You can see me just wiggling because I don't know where he is. He could be at the top, he could be aiming at me right now, but then the A-cap starts to cap. But as soon as it goes off, I'm thinking, right, okay, he is coming towards me. But then he starts capping it again, which is great for me because now I know that he's not chasing me, he is after the cap, which means I can then try and spot him and hopefully get a shot off before he looks at me. And luckily we do have his side plate. We do get that shot off and we do get a nice bounce. Now his second shell, he's going to completely fluff, which I now know he only has one shell left. So we're going to try and bait him. We do get another bounce. And now this is probably where I make the mistake. I do go in for the little bit of the ram. I should have maybe gone in for the ram a little bit harder, but I was just worried about killing myself. Now we do get that bounce and we are about to reload. Stupidly here, I switched to heat on a high roll, and we do get a high roll at 572. If we would have kept the AP, we would have killed him. He's on 20 HP, and just as I reload, he kills me, and this was my reaction.
Literally like half a fucking second. I'm gonna cry.
I mean, you can clearly see I'm upset, and that's the most damage I've actually ever done on PC. As I've explained, I am absolutely useless on PC, so very, very unfortunate, but we lost because I made that mistake in switching to the heat. Next up, we have the mighty Pro of Dreams, and he is driving the Sheridan, soon to be gone with the missiles and using the heat only without missiles in the next few weeks. But he's going to have a fantastic game, and if I felt sorry for myself that game with 7k damage, we are surely going to feel sorry for this guy with the damage that he gets. So he's going to play it very, I mean, he's not going to play it aggressively. He's going to play it like a light tank, which means he's going to try and get the early spots. He's going to sit in the bush and hopefully just farm a little bit of damage while he is in a bush. Now, straight away, the tanks to the right are spotted. The AMX-50B, he does get a side shot, but that means he is going to get spotted. And he's just going to back up. He's going to back up, which is great, because even though he's spotted, we don't know where the other tanks are. So if he was sitting in this position and he gets spotted, he could easily get a nasty shot taken on against him, and he'll have no idea where the tanks are. Now, the tanks are started to get spotted from the right side, and again, he gets a nice shot there into the meal, and as soon as he gets that shot, he went to back up in case he was spotted again, but he wasn't spotted, so he's going back into the position, into the bush. Now, the Leopard 1 is heading his way, but the Leopard 1 does not want to know the Sheridan. The Leopard is just trying to flank around the team and try and get the heavies from behind, which is a good shout, but unfortunately, he doesn't realise that the Sheridan is here, and the Sheridan can get a nice, juicy HE shell into his rear. Now, he is going to go back for the Sheridan, which is a good call. Otherwise, the Sheridan can just cause mischief. He can be a little pain in the arse getting behind these heavies. As with all the heavies in front of these heavies and a Leopard 1 behind, very, very dangerous, and it just can cause no end of problems. So going back for that Leopard 1 was the correct decision and a great decision to make. And he does clear him for his first kill. So he's now on 1800 damage, and it is a 5 versus 6. But he's heavy tanks are not able to cope with. There is too many tanks there, along with the Sheridan on the enemy team, so they are just overrun. And you can say that the Leopard, even though he went on a YOLO run, he took the attention of these tanks, which meant the heavy tanks can push on without anyone getting any side shots into them. So he's going to ignore the VK100 there, with which is a foul tune, and he's going to go for the more dangerous target, which is the Conway. But now they have started a rush. They've started a big push, and that IS-8 can't last much longer. Now, the Sheridan on the enemy team is heading his way. He does get a nice shot, and I'm hoping that he'll be able to back up behind here and reload before this Sheridan comes. Now, the Sheridan is going to take a shot into him. He's going to reload, and he's very soon now. 1 second, there we go. He's going to get that shot, bring this guy down to a one shot. His last remaining light tank, which is another Sheridan, is dead. If they would have worked together here, they would have cleared this Sheridan, but the other Sheridan decided just to go elsewhere. Now, he does take a shot from the Conway there. The Sheridan on that team misses his shot, so he is able to take out the Sheridan. It was a 1 versus 6. He's now bringing it down to a 1 versus 5. Now look at all these dodges. One missed there, one missed there. Very, very lucky indeed. Now he's going to get a nice shot again into the Conway. Again, nice dodging there from the shells coming into him, and it is now still a 1 versus 1 versus 5. There is a couple of low hit point tanks, but he needs to now reset his camo. There's still 3.5 minutes left on the clock, so there's still plenty of time to pull this off. A 1 versus 5. If he can manage to do this, he's going to end on a 1 versus 6 Kolobinov and 7 kills and a hell of a lot of damage. Now, he has reset his camo. He wants to split the team up. He doesn't want them to push together. He wants to split them up so they come from all different angles and not together. And then he can use his mobility. Now, at least we know that there is one tank capping. So that's one tank that he doesn't need to worry about right now. He's on 4.4k damage. If he can get this, he needs to get that shot into the AMX-30B, which is absolutely perfect, because now that is another tank down to a 1 shot. Now, does he run away, or does he wait for the AMX-50B to come in and he can get the kill? He needs to do this without getting shot. He needs to try and preserve his hit points as long as possible. And again, that was a lovely kill on that 50B for 3 kills. 5.5k damage now. Now, the Emil is a 1 shot. He's only on 4 HP, so he's only going to take a HE shell to clear him, but he needs to do it so he doesn't get shot in return, and he does exactly that. So he's now bringing it down to a 1 versus 3. We now know that the VK100 is there. We know that the Motion is in the cap. We just don't know where the TD is, and there he is. Lovely snapshot into that Conway, and he's managed to take away 3 tanks without getting shot in return. But the time is running out. The Motion is capping the base. He's at 80 supremacy. He's at 80 cap points, so he needs to rush. He needs to hurry up, and he has got no choice. Now, he's going to wait. By the time he gets there, at least if he gets a shot into this Motion now, then he won't be able to have time. Unless they cap together, he won't be able to have time to get the caps. They have to go for the win unless they cap together. So he does reset the cap. He does get shot from that VK100. I hate these situations where you actually lose or you don't win because of a tier 8 tank in a tier 10 matchup. So he's just going to use the missiles now, and that's pretty much one of the only missiles he uses as an actual missile in this game. That puts him up to 7,000 damage, but only 1 minute left on the clock now. Does he go for the draw? I don't think he can go for the win. There's just too many hit points to get through. The Motion is still very healthy, and the VK is still going to take another 2 shots to kill the VK. Now, the VK is keeping him spotted, so unfortunately, again, he doesn't have to go for the cap, but with time running low, he wants to go for the damage. He has to go for the damage and maybe go for the draw. Now, he baits a lovely shot from that Motion there. He is going to use a missile, but he's actually going to use it as a normal shell and aim in completely in sniper mode and to go for the weak point, which was the front of the armor. That now puts him on 7,600 damage. The Motion's coming from the right, the VK's coming from the left. He's going to pick his target. What's he going to go for? He's only got time pretty much to reload 1 more shell. He hasn't got time to do anything else. Now, he doesn't get shot at the moment. He does go for the VK, and now he's just running away with 7 seconds left on the clock. He is going for the draw. Well played, but unfortunately, just not enough. 5 kills, a 1 versus 6 that would have been, but he ends on 8,200 damage. You should be proud there, Mighty Pro Dreams. Very good game. You could have had an insane amount of damage. You could have had over 9k damage, but unfortunately, there just wasn't enough time. But one thing he did do is make every shot count. 18 out of 18. So thank you for sending me that in. Thanks, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm Meadsy, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye-bye.
With